video on the peach tree. Took me 2 days, so I'm at work right now. But I'm gonna leave everything in the description. I don't always say everything in the video because I just do them off the spur of the moment. Sometimes I just think of something, and I don't always articulate everything on the videos. But I'm gonna leave everything in the description for everything you need for your peach tree. The basic needs you need for your peach tree, and a little bit of steps for what you need to, get your peach tree off the ground. All right, into the video. What's up, bikes and gardens? Today I'm gonna talk about the one fruit tree that I have, and it's a peach tree. It's right there. It's a little mini dwarf, but produces a good bit for what I have. Do not remember the strain of peach tree, but I'm talking about everything that I do to make this thing produce what it produces. All right, give me a second. First thing you need to do is prune your tree when you first start growing. The first year or two, you're not going to get anything. Might as well just pluck off the peaches that are on there and let the tree really get its root system going. And then, maybe the second or third year you'll get what you want, but don't expect anything the first year or two, anything major to from your peach tree. Make sure you prune out the inside. You want everything to grow outward so the sun can get inside the tree and you don't run the risk of fungus and stuff like that. And I'll talk about fungus because when I first put this tree in there, I didn't know about pruning and all that, so I did have fungus problem. And from time to time, every so often I get a somewhat fungus going on, but I figured out what to do and what to put on the tree to help it not happen anymore. And if you're worried about insects, I'm going to talk about that in a second too. But when you first plant your tree, follow the basic instructions on the paper. Just follow the instructions, dig your hole, plant your tree down in there. I put Miracle-Gro in-ground mix in the hole with the soil and put it in there like that. And over the winter, it did its thing. It did. Even if the tree looks like it's dying during the winter, it's not dying. I promise you. If it's green as it goes in the winter and then all the stuff falls off, it's going to come back more than likely. If you're doing everything right, it's going to come back. I watered it during the winter and everything like that. I know everybody doesn't, but I did it to be sure. I put fertilizer on it and everything like that. Do all that and your tree will come back. But when you start getting fruits, like branches are gonna sometimes get a little heavy. I should probably cut that branch over there a little so it doesn't hang so low, but I'm not gonna do it. And then I have some up here that are a little hanging low too, but they're doing good and the tree does good, so I'm not gonna cut off all those branches. This branch right here that hangs kind of low, I tried to tie it, but I might have to cut this one. I'm debating it if I'm gonna cut it or not, because it has so many peaches on it already. I might just start thinning the crop off of it and see what I have left in the end. But we're gonna go over to the table and we're gonna really talk about everything you need to know when it comes to fungicide, insecticide, what I use for the peaches and everything like that. So be back. Alright, so we back over here talk about the insecticide, fungicide, and fertilizer that I use. Basically fertilizer is just Miracle-Gro in-ground, nothing different than most people use. But when I first got the tree, I didn't, like I say, I'm still new and I've had that tree for 4 years now. So when I got it, it was the first fruit tree. It's the only fruit tree I have right now. And so I was learning with that tree and I've learned a good bit. And you want to make sure you prune. You want to make sure you thin out your fruit, because if you don't, then you increase the chances of fungus running on your tree, and you don't want that. And you deal with pests, But the pesticide that I use is this right here. It's called Tree and Shrub Insect Drench. Put it up to the camera. This is 17, where I got it from a $17.95. But when you get this, it's gonna last for a while. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now. So you pay that 17, it might seem, some people might think it's a little much at the time, but it's worth it, you know, what you pay for it. And pretty much you follow the directions on here. You mix in 1 ounce or 2 to a gallon of water. You pour this around the base of the tree. The root system sucks it up, and it does its job with controlling pests, ants, and anything else that crawls all over your tree. I put this down and I do not see any bugs on my tree anymore. Every so often I might see a ladybug, but you know, that's not a big deal. I don't have the pests that are gonna ruin your fruit, as you know, as the time goes on. It's fungicide. You get this from Lowe's. You mix this, follow the direction. I think it's 1 or 2 ounces to a gallon. You can use this up to the day you harvest your peaches, and you spray it on there every 7 to 14 days. As long as your problem is still there, keep spraying it and it'll kill off the problem that you're having. Like I said, fertilizer is just Miracle-Gro in-ground soil, and I'm gonna put some pictures up showing, you know, what you don't want your tree to look like. Versus, you know, how my tree looks now. It might look like you're thinning it out and it look like it's gonna look like crap, but thinning it out will help it produce better fruit. And I'll show some pictures of the fruit that I have from last year. And it seems like I'm gonna get the same abundance that I had last year. So make sure you do your thinning. Make sure you get you a decent insecticide, fungicide, and when you water, don't just spray the water on the tree. Spray it at the base. Make sure it gets that water. During the winter time, I sprayed water on it and fertilizer to make sure, to kind of help it when it first gets started. But after that, you know, once the first 2 years gone by, you know that your tree is in there good, and you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to really water it and stuff like that during the winter. I was just doing it trying to, you know, make sure that it got what it needed during the winter also. I'm gonna do an up-to-date video on my potatoes right there. If you guys watch that video, my potatoes are sprouted up. They're doing pretty good. So that's all I got for you. Subscribe. I appreciate it watching the video. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. Thanks.